please, please stop what you're doing. Listen, please, 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 please. The scariest scam just happened to us. I'm still very shaken. It didn't even happen to me. Please send this to your parents. If you have older parents, if you have older grandparents, please send this to them or let them know that this is happening, okay? So about half an hour ago, my husband got a call from my phone number. It had my picture, it had my name, everything about it. It was my number. It was like a regular call. He didn't even think anything of it, answered the phone. On the other line was a guy saying he was holding me hostage and was going to shoot me if my husband did not transfer him money through Zelle. My husband immediately started texting our good friend that's in the FBI, and that guy instructed him to keep the guy on the phone and try to have that guy put me on the phone. Like, if he really had me, put me on the phone. So Josh my husband is keeping him on the phone, trying to tell him to put me on the phone. In the meantime, he's also tracking my phone. Well, I happen to be at the hospital because my son had a doctor's appointment. So our FBI friend leaves work and is headed to me to make sure everything's okay. Josh was able to drag this phone call out for 5 minutes. And in the meantime, this guy's asking for, he's getting hostile and he's asking for the money via Zelle. My husband's like, I don't know what Zelle is. Do you have Venmo? Because he's just like trying to prolong the conversation. He's like, I really need to talk to her. I need to make sure she's okay. After about 5 minutes of this, he still wouldn't put me on the phone, obviously, because I wasn't there. So Josh, my husband, hung up and called me right back, and I answered, and he was like freaking out, right? Anyways, the scariest part of all this is that they call from your number and they knew everybody's names. So please spread the word that this is a new scam, because it is very realistic. It is very terrifying. And I know that a lot of people would just give them account numbers to get their loved ones back. Gosh, just spread the word, please. Hopefully, if we spread it far and wide, we can squash this and it'll stop being a thing.
I wanted to share this video with all of you so that no one falls victim to this type of scam. It is horrible that these scammers are getting so sophisticated. People are falling victim to scams all the time. A good friend of mine called me recently and told me that his college-age son fell victim to a scam, and he wired these scammers approximately $3,500. And the police said there really wasn't much they could do, especially since the money was sent internationally. This is a young man who's starting out in life, and he did not have that money to lose. That was a major financial setback for him, but he learned a hard lesson. I want to share with you a scam that my grandmother fell victim to. I went to the dentist one day, and I was having a procedure that took quite a bit of time. My grandmother called me, and I was unable to answer the phone. About 10 minutes later, she called me again. I was still unable to answer the phone. When I left the dentist office, I listened to her voicemail messages, and she said, "Please tell me that you are not in a Mexican jail. Please tell me that you are okay." And then she left me another message, and she said, "Please tell me that I didn't just get scammed by sending this money to this person." So I immediately called her, and she explained to me what had happened, and she was very upset. Someone called and told her that I had been vacationing in Mexico with some of my friends, and I had been thrown in a Mexican jail. and I needed $1,000 to bail out of this Mexican jail. My grandmother was suspicious because she said, he works all the time. He rarely takes a vacation. So I don't believe what you're saying. And she asked to speak with me. They told her it doesn't work that way in Mexico. It's not like the United States where someone gets a phone call. If you don't send the $1,000, he's going to get beat up really bad in this Mexican jail. My grandmother attempted to call me twice, and she became frightened when I didn't answer either time, because ordinarily I would answer the phone call or return the missed call in short order. So she was instructed to drive to the local Walmart and wire the $1,000 to these scammers. And that's what she did. It was truly unfortunate. And the police weren't able to do anything for her. She never recovered that $1,000. I really felt bad about what happened to her. My friends, you need to be very careful in our modern world. Let me tell you what is really scary from my perspective. Here in the United States of America, data brokers are allowed to collect a lot of information about you. When someone searches for your name, they can find out your age, they can find out where you live now, where you have lived previously, they can find out who your relatives are, their ages, and their home addresses. Scammers, unfortunately, can use this type of information that is readily available as part of their scams. What's also scary to me is someone can search a person's name and find out their home address. Then they can look that up on Google, see a satellite image of the home, and even see a street view. And if you live on a corner lot, someone can click around and turn and see both sides of the home. So if they wanted to break into the home, they could see where bushes or trees might be shielding a section of the home from the street so that they would be able to spend time breaking in. It's really scary how much information is out there nowadays. A friend of mine who is a mortgage broker told me about a wealthy woman who was buying a very expensive home. She was getting a mortgage, and she was interested in doing business with his small bank because they were more open to doing some things that larger banks would not entertain. She did not want to purchase the home in her personal name. She set up an anonymous LLC, and she wanted to purchase the home in that LLC with a mortgage. And a lot of financial institutions would not allow this. The problem is if you buy a home with a mortgage in your name and then later pay it off and then do something like a quick claim deed into an LLC, well, scammers could still see the trail of when you previously owned it. That's still going to show up online somewhere. So someone could still find your opulent home online. She did not want to risk that. From the get-go, she wanted to have the home in this anonymous LLC. And I thought to myself, that's really smart. I want to talk with you a little bit about these data brokers. A lot of people don't know this, but you can opt out of these data brokers. It takes a lot of time and effort to do that. Some are easy to opt out of. Others take a considerable amount of time. There are companies out there that you can pay, and they supposedly will remove all of your personal information from all of these data brokers. That way, someone cannot look up your name and find your address or your age or the names of all of your relatives. I don't know how good of a job these companies do when you pay them to remove all of your information. I know of someone who did all of this manually himself, and I can tell you it took several months to do. And he also removed all of his relatives. Because if you think about it, what good does it do if you remove yourself, but you don't get all of your relatives off of those data broker sites as well? Someone could still look up one of your relatives, and that could potentially link back to you somehow. I mention this because these scams are getting very sophisticated. And now that we have artificial intelligence, I suspect some of the scams will continue to evolve and become even more dangerous. I think people really need to protect their identity as much as possible. You really need to protect your personal privacy, however you can. Removing yourself from data broker sites might be a good move. But what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.